everybody. Today, let's break down the whole process of selling to big companies. I know that, sometimes the thought of selling to big companies could seem really daunting. There are so many questions you have. How do I get in front of people? And how do I consistently generate leads? What do I say? How do I close sales? Who should I talk to? There are so many questions, you'll probably have when it comes to selling to big companies, especially when they have intimidating topic or intimidating title. So today I would like to break down this whole process and really show you exactly how to sell to big companies, because I believe that it actually does not need to be complicated. It requires a very specific components for you to sell to big companies. And the moment you are able to visualize that step-by-step process, it'll give you that, a sense of comfort and a sense of clarity in terms of what to expect. And take your time, have reasonable expectations, and knowing that you're trying to build a house or build your asset. You only need to take it step by step and try to make sure that every single one is solid. Every single component of selling to big companies is solid. And the moment that you're able to achieve this, then you are able to sell to big companies. So what am I talking about? What are the components to sell to big companies? I call it the golden triangle. So sales golden triangles. What does that mean? So basically, selling to big companies only comprise of three components. So the first one is the client. Pretty straightforward. But what I'm talking about is just not regular clients, but it's a list of very well thought of targeted clients that you need to pick up. And trust me, it's very, very important to make sure that it's thoughtful, because a lot of times when you want to, as a small entrepreneur, when you try to sell to big companies, you can't just go out and reach 100 people, 100 different companies and try to get in front of their decision makers. It does not work that way. So you most likely, as a small entrepreneur, a busy entrepreneur with limited resources, you might only have the ability to target 10 to 20 prospects. So these prospects need to have ability to pay for your service and need to have the need for your service. So we call it that, they are ready to purchase your service. So this is a very well thought out list of clients, and I have a lot of videos talking about it, and today I don't want to get into all the details of every single component, but really just simply show you what are the important components. You'll see that a lot of my videos really address every single one of my components, and a lot of our training program is really, in fact, try to make sure that you can build it step by step, build the solid foundations of the golden triangle. So the first component of that golden triangle is the list of client. You have to make sure that the client has the ability to pay for your service, also has the need to pay for a need for your service. So that is the first component. The second component would be your offering, or some people call it the unique value proposition. I believe that the unique value proposition differ from the client list. So based on your target. So remember, we just talked about the client. If you look at the triangle, it's like that. So your client and your offering, when you're trying to determine who you're trying to target, the client and your offering, they should be communicating constantly. So basically, when you're brainstorming, you need to continue to think about who am I targeting and what should my value proposition be. You might be thinking, hey, I'm a marketing manager and I know what I'm offering. I'm offering marketing service to big companies. But that's not enough. And I think I've talked a lot in different videos, and especially our training, is that it's not enough to simply say that, hey, I'm a marketing manager or I offer great service. And there's so many times I hear people saying, I offer the best service, I offer the best qualities of service, and I offer, I have the number of years in the industries. That's not enough for you to stand out, to have that unique value proposition. And a lot of times, the unique value proposition is really based on your understanding of the list of clients you're targeting. What are their specific unique business pains? And then you tie your personal background, your experience, what you've done before, and how your service can help them solve that unique problems. So the two sides, in terms of the kind of business you're going to target and your unique value proposition or your service, the two should be communicating with each other. You should constantly be thinking about two simultaneously. So once you're able to really basically you'll find the client who are ready, who can buy for your service and who also has a need for your service, and then align your service to their unique needs, those would be the two components of business of your sales golden triangle. Not too hard, right? You just have to focus on that. You've got the two components done. And then you have the third component, which would be your sales funnel. So we're talking about basically prospecting, people call it prospecting strategies, prospecting activities, how to get in front of your clients, sales and marketing strategies, or even email marketing. All these basically fall under the sales funnel. And most likely, not all strategies are created the same. And you, depending on your background, what you feel most comfortable in, your network, the kind of service you're providing, there's one or two very unique and specific sales funnel that will work for you. And just keep that in mind. Not all strategies are made equal. And that's something that I see a lot on the internet world. People will focus on one very specific strategy and say do this and you're able to close more sales and get more clients. Every strategies are unique, and you really need to based on your what you're comfortable, and then your network, you need to find the sales funnel that works best for you. So there's a lot of testing and revising and try it, getting feedback and testing again in terms of the sales funnel. But testing is the very important component to it. And that's why when I work with my clients, a lot of times I tell my clients, the most important thing for us or during our training session is get you start selling as soon as possible, because that's where the testing comes from. Once you have the target client and the service, your value proposition determined, your sales funnel takes a lot of testing, and most importantly thing, getting the feedback from your final client. Do they like how you approach them? Are they responsive? Are they clicking your content marketing, or are they clicking your emails? Are they answering? Are they engaging with you? And these are the indication of whether a sales funnel is working or not. So basically that's it. Once you have that, it becomes your asset. It's yours. So once you build one sales golden triangle, or I call it sales campaign, then you can move on to the second one. So, take one very specific group of client and then create a value proposition that really satisfies their specific need, and test out a sales funnel that works. And once the sales funnel works, you can automate that. You can outsource it, get a sales assistant to do a lot of things for you, or there are a lot of CRM, client relationship management tools that can help you automate some of the emails. And the beginning part is where you do a lot of testing, where there's, you might have a bit of failure and you might be wondering whether you're doing the right thing. But that is completely normal, because you have to remember, once you build the golden triangle, it's yours. It's a little bit like, real estate. It will not change. You can scale that. You can use it for other clients, and you can continue to refine it, and it's yours to keep. And that's it. That is the sales golden triangle when it comes to selling to big companies. It's not that hard, right? So the most important thing is stay persistent. Take your time, be patient. I think patience is such an important thing. Be patient and take one step at a time. Really see yourself building one component at a time. Sometimes things might move fast, and sometimes things might move a little bit slowly. than you like, but that is fine. As long as you keep going, keep moving forward, you will get there. With that said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'd be very happy to answer any questions. And our training courses are there to help you build the foundations of every single component. I'll talk to you next time. Let's go get some big sales.